Hoop is probably the easiest brewing method ever. It's easy to use and you don't need a lot of skill to brew with it. But does it make a good coffee? Hi everyone, Matteo here, and today I will brew with Hoop. This brewer has been created by Ceado, an Italian company known for their commercial grinders. They launched this product last year and they even won the Specialty Coffee Association Best New Products Award at the World of Coffee in Athens in 2023. The brewer is made of BPA-free plastic that resists high temperatures and also is dishwasher safe. It consists of two parts. We have the cone or the cylinder. They like to call it cone. I like to call it cylinder. I don't know, maybe you can help me to find a proper name for this part. So just help me leaving a comment in the section below. And then we have the bowl. To brew with this brewer, we need a round, flat paper filter, like the one we use for AeroPress. It's the same size. And to assemble the brewer, it's very easy. We place the filter inside the bowl, like this, and then we screw the cylinder on top. Once it's nice and tight, the paper filter is tense, like a drum skin. And now we are ready to brew with it. I'm already telling you that this is probably the easiest brewing method ever. The only thing we need to do is to put the coffee here in the middle and the water goes outside on the outer bowl. In this way, coffee and water are kept separately, and the only way for the water to access the coffee is through these 12 small holes that are placed on the board of the cylinder. These holes regulate the flow of the water so that you don't need to worry about pouring or the turbulence. In this video, to brew the coffee, I will use the method that is suggested by Ceado, that you can find on their Instagram page. We placed 15 grams of coffee that I ground for like pour over, 25 clicks with a comandante and grinder, and that is my starting point. Then, depending on the coffee, we can adjust the grind size. We distribute the coffee, and then we place 250 grams of boiling water in the outer bowl, and we place the whole quantity. Once the water has wet the grounds, we stir the crust, and now we just need to wait until all the water finishes to drain. While we wait, I want to briefly talk about the sponsor of this video, and that is BetterHelp. In the last period of my life, I overcame some physical and mental challenges, and BetterHelp helped me to go through that by starting therapy sections in a very easy way, by phone calls, video chat, or even messaging, whatever was more comfortable for me. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network based on your needs, preferences, and location, which gives you the access to a wider range of expertise than may be available in your city. You can schedule therapy sessions at a time that it's more convenient for you, and if you feel like your therapist isn't a great fit for you, you can switch therapists with a click of a button on your settings at no additional cost. If you're dealing with a difficult time in your life like I did, click the link in the description below or visit betterhelp.com/Matteo. Clicking that link helps this channel, and also it gets you a 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. So you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. To get started, fill out a questionnaire that will ask you questions about what challenges you're going through and also what kind of therapist you would like. And then BetterHelp will match you with a therapist to help you. Please don't hesitate to seek help if you need it. Now let's go back to our brew. Hoop brews the coffee with radial infusion, meaning that the water flows from the board of the cylinder to the center, creating a different turbulence compared to a classic pour-over. It's minimal and steady so that everyone can brew a cup of coffee with it. Sometimes I think it's a bit boring as a brewing method, but that's because it's me. I like to overcomplicate my life when I brew my coffee. But with Hoop, I don't need to think about anything. Now, regarding the extraction, I found this method very clever because we have zero bypass, meaning that all the water enters in contact with the coffee. With other pour-over methods, we can expect some water bypassing the coffee bed by flowing from the outside of the paper filter. With Hoop, this doesn't happen, so we should expect a higher extraction. Another thing that boosts the coffee extraction with Hoop is the continued refreshing of the coffee bed with fresh water coming from the outer bowl. We have coffee going out from the bottom and fresh water coming from the outside. This creates higher extraction compared to other methods where we put coffee and water and then wait for a few minutes before it's done. Like for example, French press. We can even say that this brewing method is something in between pour over and immersion. But now the question is, can it make a good cup of coffee? Maybe we will see this very soon. Okay, and finally, after 4 minutes, we have our coffee. The brew is done, and the first thing that we can see is that the coffee is clean. The liquid is very clean, it's very nice, and for me it's a very positive aspect. And now we're going to taste. The aroma is very nice. The coffee is nice, has a very nice body, a nice intensity, it's clean, you can feel the flavors. I'm very positive about this brew, it's very easy to make, everybody can do it, and you can achieve a really good cup of coffee. So for me it's very positive. Following the suggested method from Ceado, I can say that is a very balanced cup. If you need to balance the cup, the only thing you need to do is change the grind size, so finer or coarser, and this will increase or decrease the contact time so you can adjust the balance. So I think it's very clever, I'm very positive about this brewer. Now I want to share with you my thoughts. Overall, I like this brewer. It's very easy to use, and when I started to brew with it, I was actually very impressed by the quality of cup of coffee that you can achieve with a minimum effort. For me, this can be the method to introduce people to pour over or even to brew filter coffee at home. You don't need a gooseneck kettle to brew with it because the holes will regulate the turbulence for you. It's easy to clean, you just need to unscrew the cylinder and discard the coffee. You can even place it in the dishwasher, like I said before, for a better deep cleaning. One thing that I need to mention is the fact that because of the large bottom, the brewer doesn't fit some of the popular servers that we can find in the market, like for example the V60 server or the Orea or the Kalita. So you need to find a perfect server where hoop can fit. Then if you brew the coffee directly in a mug, problem solved. One thing that you need to be careful when you use this method is the stirring. Depending on how you stir, you can have a different result in the cup, and this is because it can change the draining speed of the water. When I was testing the brewer, sometimes I was stirring too aggressively and I was creating some clogging, so the water was coming out very slow, and that of course will affect the end result in the cup. So the stirring can affect the brewing consistency. Talking about consistency, I wanted to see how consistent the brewer is. So I brew the same coffee for 10 times, keeping all the time the same variables, and see if I was getting the same result. Unfortunately, I noticed that the draining flow sometimes change. Sometimes faster, sometimes slower, and that will change the brewing time. Changing the brewing time basically is going to change the contact time between coffee and water, and that will affect the extraction. Less contact time, less extraction, more contact time, more extraction. Now I found differences in taste in between the 10 brews. The one with a shorter contact time, they were giving more florality, more acidity, and the one with a longer contact time were giving me more sweetness in the cup. But I have to say that none of them were actually bad brews. So overall, it's okay. Another thing you need to be careful of is when you pour the water in the outer bowl. I noticed that if you pour too aggressively from one side, you will have a more powerful stream coming out from the small holes on that side. This can push a lot of grounds from one side to another and might create inconsistency in extraction. So just be careful when you pour the water in the outer bowl, don't be too aggressive. I definitely need more testing to understand how this will affect the final result in the cup, but I will leave this to another episode of Hoop. Yes, there will be other videos about hoop, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to do that so you won't miss the next videos. Right now I will enjoy the coffee that I brew with this brewer while you let me know what you think about it. Are you planning to get it? Do you have it? If you have it, how do you brew with it? Any questions, comments, share your recipe, you're very welcome, so don't hesitate to leave a message in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in my next videos, and in the meantime I wish you a wonderful day and delicious coffee. Ciao!